Have you ever pondered the possibility of creating consciousness in a laboratory setting? Welcome to the fascinating realm of brain organoids. Miniature versions of human brains grown in laboratories. These tiny structures, astonishingly similar to our own brains, have opened up a new frontier in neuroscience. However, they have also ignited intense ethical debates. Are we playing God by creating these organoids? Are we stepping over a line? This brings us to our central question. Could these lab-grown miniature brains develop something as complex as consciousness? To answer this question, we first need to understand what we mean by consciousness. It's a complex concept, often defined as a state of awareness or the ability to experience feelings and sensations. Some define it as the subjective experience of one's own mind and surroundings, while others see it as a higher cognitive function linked to self-awareness and introspection. Now let's talk about brain organoids. These are essentially miniature brains grown in a lab from human stem cells. They mimic the structure and function of our brains, but on a much smaller scale and with significant limitations. For instance, they lack the complex network of blood vessels that supply our brains with nutrients and oxygen. They also don't have the same variety of brain cells, and their organization is much simpler than that of a full-sized brain. So, could these tiny lab-grown brains achieve consciousness? Theories abound. Some scientists propose that if an organoid develops enough complexity and diversity in its neural networks, it might start to exhibit some form of consciousness. Others argue that consciousness could emerge from specific types of neural activity, which might be achievable in an organoid under the right conditions. However, these theories face some significant challenges. One is the question of how we could detect consciousness in a brain organoid. Without a body or senses, an organoid can't interact with the world or express its experiences in a way we could recognize. Another challenge is the ethical implications of creating a potentially conscious entity in a lab, which we'll delve into later. So it seems consciousness in brain organoids is theoretically possible. But what does the evidence say? Scene script. Science has made some fascinating breakthroughs in brain organoid research. These miniature brains are grown in laboratories, and they've been making headlines for their uncanny ability to mimic the intricate structures and functions of our own brains. But the real question on everyone's mind is this: could these tiny replicas actually achieve consciousness? Our understanding of consciousness is still evolving, and it's a concept that's notoriously hard to pin down. Some define it as the capacity for self-awareness and perception, while others see it as the ability to experience feelings and sensations. Where do brain organoids fit into this? Recent experiments have shown surprising results. Some brain organoids have been observed to produce brainwaves eerily similar to those of preterm infants. This suggests that these organoids might possess some rudimentary form of consciousness, or at least the potential for it. However, measuring consciousness is a complex task. It's not as simple as observing brainwaves or neural activity. We need to understand the subjective experiences of these entities, which is a challenge when dealing with organoids that don't communicate or behave like a fully formed brain. The evidence we have is intriguing, hinting at possibilities we once thought were the stuff of science fiction. But these findings also present a conundrum. If brain organoids can indeed achieve consciousness, we're stepping into a minefield of ethical issues. While the evidence is intriguing, it also brings up some serious ethical concerns. The idea of a conscious entity in a lab brings up numerous ethical questions. If brain organoids could potentially gain consciousness, we'd be facing a new frontier of moral challenges. How do we handle a lab-grown entity that might be capable of experiencing sensations or emotions? This isn't just about the ethics of creating conscious entities in a lab. It extends to animal welfare as well. Current research on brain function and diseases often involve animal models, which raise their own ethical concerns. If brain organoids could mimic animal or even human brains closely enough, we might reduce the need for animal testing. On the flip side, if these organoids achieve consciousness, they themselves could be seen as sentient beings deserving of ethical consideration. The implications for research ethics are profound. Can we use conscious organoids for testing? If so, What safeguards should be in place? These questions underscore the need for robust ethical guidelines in brain organoid research. But who sets these guidelines and how do we enforce them? These are complex questions without easy answers. We're in uncharted territory and the scientific community must tread carefully, balancing the pursuit of knowledge with respect for potential new life forms. These ethical dilemmas highlight the need for caution as we tread into the future of brain organoid research. So, what does the future hold for brain organoids and consciousness research? As scientists continue to unlock the secrets of the brain, organoid technology could provide unprecedented insights into consciousness and brain function. Imagine the breakthroughs possible if we could study the brain's intricate workings up close, in real time, and the implications extend beyond neuroscience, potentially revolutionizing fields like artificial intelligence. The possibilities are certainly exciting, but the journey is far from over. In our journey today, we've explored the fascinating world of brain organoids and the question of their consciousness. We've delved into the scientific advancements that have made it possible to grow these miniature brains in a lab. We've considered the intricacies of consciousness, a concept that, despite our best efforts, remains as elusive as ever. We've seen how brain organoids exhibit certain characteristics that mirror those of our own brains. They develop neural networks, they respond to stimuli, and they even generate electrical activity. But does this mean they possess consciousness? The jury is still out on that one. We've also looked at the theories that suggest the potential for consciousness to emerge in these organoids. Some argue that with the right conditions and sufficient complexity, consciousness could indeed arise. But others caution that we must tread carefully, for the implications are profound. We've highlighted the ethical considerations that come with this territory. If these organoids were to develop consciousness, what would that mean for their rights? How would it affect our approach to animal welfare and research ethics? These are questions that demand careful thought and responsible action. As we look to the future, the possibilities seem endless. Brain organoids could revolutionize our understanding of consciousness and brain function. They could impact various fields from neuroscience to artificial intelligence, offering new avenues for research and discovery. But let's not forget, the mystery of consciousness in brain organoids remains unresolved. It's a question that teeters on the edge of science and philosophy, a question that challenges our understanding of what it means to be conscious, to be aware, to be alive. We encourage you to continue exploring and questioning the boundaries of consciousness and artificial intelligence. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts with us. Until next time, keep questioning.